All right, what is up, everybody? This is Daniel Barrett here from AdWords Nerds and from MotivatedSellerLeads.com. You know me. You love me. Sure you do. Why not? Look, I wanted to go live in here. I just did a full training for the folks in REI Marketing Mastery. So REI Marketing Mastery is like my private coaching clients group. It's where we do multiple coaching calls, support calls a week. Justin from the PPC team is in there helping people. I'm in there helping people with their SEO. We're doing all sorts of stuff for those folks. And it's kind of a long and very in-depth program where they get access to pretty much everything that we do. So part of what we do in there is anything that's working in the agency, anything that I'm using for clients, anything that we're testing that's working, we teach in REI Marketing Mastery. And I just did a full training, a full over-the-shoulder walkthrough of exactly how I'm creating SEO content, right? So if you're a real estate investor and you come in and you need content or you need stuff built out for your site, this is the exact process that I use. Not only that, it's the exact process that I use for myself, because about 80% of our business comes from organic traffic at this point. It's a very, very profitable channel for us, and it's something that I work on and I believe in. So I gave this kind of like complete walkthrough to the people in REI Marketing Mastery, and I can't really do that in here. Obviously, folks, they do a lot of work and invest a lot to being a part of that group, but I did want to share in here because this is something I think is really important. And I think that so much of SEO is kind of behind the curtain, behind the iron curtain, whatever you want to say. A lot of people kind of hide their approach, and I just think it's kind of goofy, right? So here is my approach. I'll give you kind of the high level overview. And in fact, let's kind of break this down. I'm going to do this. I'll kind of take notes for you guys as we talk. And I'll share this on screen here. And I'll share this in the REI Marketing Nerds group so you guys can grab this. Okay, so let's think this through a little bit. All right, something that you really got to understand about SEO, and probably the most critical thing you've got to understand about SEO, is that SEO is a game of disproportionate advantages. Here's what I mean. If you are in a market where nobody is sophisticated and nobody knows SEO and everybody's website is terrible, right? Then you don't have to do much to rank number one for all the keywords you care about, right? So SEO is a game of disproportionate advantages, all right? So likewise, if you are in a market where everyone is sophisticated and everyone knows SEO, and everyone is really good at what they do, and everybody is investing in SEO, then you have to do significantly more in order to rank. Because you got to think, if Google ranks you number one, that means they're not ranking someone else number one. And remember, Google makes their money when people come back to Google over and over and over again because they have good experiences. So if I put someone else, if I put you above someone else and that person has a bad experience on your website, Google could potentially lose money. I know it doesn't seem like it in the moment, but that's how they view it. So if we're in a sophisticated market, that means that we have to do more in order to rank, okay? So the whole game is disproportionate advantages. We need to not only do the right things, we need to do things better than our opponents. We need to do things better than the competition. Okay, that is the name of the game. So how do we do that, right? If we are, for example, building links, we can build higher quality links. We can build more of them, right? Links is the whole thing. I don't really have time to get into it, but links are very important, right? Similarly, local SEO doesn't provide much of an advantage. So where is the advantage then, right? Like local SEO, if you think about local SEO in terms of Google My Business, you think about citations, stuff like that. It's important and it's foundational, meaning that you have to do it in order to compete, but it's not likely to be disproportionate. What do I mean by that? I mean that look, everybody can get a Google My Business account, right? Everybody can set up a profile. Everybody can get 50 citations from InvestorCare or wherever, right? Everybody does local SEO. So because everybody does it, it's foundational in the sense that we need to do it in order to get our foot in the door, but it's not likely to be the thing that ranks you number one, right? Whatever everybody is doing is unlikely to be to give us an advantage. Okay, it's more likely that what something like local SEO is for you is just you have to do that in order to rank. It's why, like, when we take on SEO clients, we do local SEO first, not because that's going to rocket us to number one, but because we just gotta kind of do that to get in the door, right? So it's not local SEO, right? And similarly, if everybody is blogging or using a content service, that is unlikely to be disproportionate, right? If everyone is posting 300-word blog posts every week or every day or whatever, and they're all the same kind of thing where it's like, you want to sell your house fast in St. Louis? Here's 5 tips to sell your house fast in St. Louis. You know, it's like that kind of thing. It is unlikely to be disproportionate. Whatever everybody is doing is not going to rank us number one. The best we can do is get parity, pull even with everybody else, right? This makes sense, right? I want to bring, if we're getting into a knife fight, I don't bring a spoon. I got to at least bring a knife, and ideally I want to bring a gun, right? So where's the advantage? So not local SEO. It's probably not in like everyday blogging. Same thing with on-site optimization. We need it to rank, but it is not sufficient to rank, okay? Like, I need to have a basically optimized website, like the kind of thing I would get from InvestorCare or whatever. I need to have the basics. I need to have my headers in place and all that stuff. But if everybody does it, it's not likely to get me to number one, okay? So where is the advantage? The advantage is in better versions of what other people already have. Here's what I mean by that. Look at who ranks and why, okay? If your competitors have, let's say, really well fleshed out content, what is that content about? What keywords is it targeting? How long is it, right? How long? How keyword dense? How fast does it load, right? How well optimized? How many links does it have, right? You want to think about all these things. Now, when you realize, okay, it's a certain amount of keyword density, a certain amount of links, a certain amount of the speed, a certain amount of whatever, the key is to do better than that. If they have 5 links, we need 6. If they have 1,000 words of content, I need 2 words of content, right? So here is the crux of the strategy for right now. Strategy for 2020, right? Do what ranks, but better, by which I mean longer content, more depth of content, internal linking, external linking, better strategy. Okay, I'm going to break these down for you right now, okay? And in fact, I'm going to put better strategy at top because it's really the most important one. Oops, let me just delete this real quick. Boom. Oops. Now, of course, I messed everything up. You know how I do. Okay. Better strategy. What do I mean by better strategy? I mean, choose low-hanging fruit keywords. These are keywords with relatively low competition for which your site is probably already ranked somewhere on the 2nd page or so. Okay, these are the easiest things to rank for. Now, if you're starting from scratch, you're just going to choose stuff with relatively low competition that's in the ballpark. But you can get this from your Google, if you look in a Google Search Console, or if you use a tool like ahrefs.com, right, you can sort of find relatively low competition keywords that you can go after. There aren't a ton of them for motivated sellers, right? But the idea here is that we're choosing the ones where we're already making some progress, but maybe we haven't done a ton of work. Now, for this, I mean, like if they do, so longer content, if they do 1,000 words of content, we do 2,000. The idea is like we want to build on top of all the existing content and make a variation of that content that's original, but that Google's going to look at and say, this is clearly the better resource, right? So if they had 1,000 words, we do 2,000, right? If they have no images, we use images. If they have no quotations, we use quotations. They don't use any research, we do original research. Whatever we got to do to make it better, right? So same thing with depth of content, right? Images, original research, infographics. We want to make our version so good it embarrasses the competition, okay? So that's longer content, depth of content. Now, internal linking. Right? What pages do we have that rank well that can link to our new pages, right? If your homepage ranks really well, maybe link to this new piece of content from your homepage. Similarly for a geographic page, similarly for a blog post that you did that went really well, right? Internal linking is an easy way of showing Google what pages we want it to prioritize. It doesn't cost us anything and we can do it pretty immediately. And the same thing for external linking. Don't just build links to the homepage. If you are trying to promote a certain piece of content, right, we want to find logical linkers, by which I mean we want to find people in our community that we work with, partners, whoever, that are would logically link to this page. People that link to similar content, people that link to similar websites, people that link to our competitors, right? We want to find people that can link to this new content, not just the homepage. If you do this, if you understand a couple things, if you understand the disproportionality of SEO advantages and you understand this idea of what we want to do is find what's working for other people and do it better, this is a very fast way to rank content for real estate investors because we're not trying to guess, we're looking at what Google is already prioritizing and giving it a better option. And if you could do that consistently, and if you can do that well, you're pretty much going to be able to rank whatever you want. Doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight. A lot of this stuff is simple but not easy, right? I've said that before. But if you can do that consistently, this is the key to ranking really aggressively in any market. I'm going to share these notes in the post in the group here so you can come and just grab this, make a copy of it or whatever. Like I said, I wasn't able to share like my whole thing. I use a bunch of different tools and stuff for this in my own workflow that I share with my students, but I wanted to make sure that you guys got the high level version so you can go and start using this for your motivated seller leads and your real estate investing website right now. As always, you want help with your marketing, SEO, PPC, anything for motivated seller leads, motivatedsellerleads.com. It's a place to go. Jump on the call with me and my team. We'd be happy to help you out. All right, Danny Barrett here, signing off. Cheers, everybody. Bye.